Hey guys, I haven't posted in forever. Um, I haven't posted in forever because I literally make the videos and then don't feel like editing it. I feel like that's the worst part of me ever making videos. Is such a waste of time for me because I will not edit it. But I promise I'm going to edit this one and post it. Okay, so this is gonna be about my experience at Johnson and Wales. I want to say before going to the school, I didn't know a lot of the things that I was not informed of, being that it was a private school. I knew it was a private school, but I didn't know that we were trimesters. I didn't know you don't take a lot of classes, but your classes are extremely long. Like I had a 10:05 to, I think it was 10:05 to 12. And then I had a 12:35 to 2:35, and then I had a 2:40 to 4. The classes were extremely long, and I know at other schools their classes are like an hour, maybe a little less than an hour, like 55 minutes. I feel like that arrangement was good for me and at certain times, and at other times I feel like it wasn't so good for me. Simply because if I sit somewhere too long and I'm extremely uninterested, I guess I could say, or bored, or I already know what's going on and I'm already there and I don't need to hear it again and I know it, I'm going to fall asleep. I didn't have that problem too much except in one class, but it took a lot of me getting used to being able to sit up and sit there. And it happened to be a class where we sat on a couch and it was so comfortable. But over time, I did get used to it and it wasn't as bad. But I went to the school I got there in August because I was in TAP. I was there from August and then I left the second trimester in February. I didn't just leave because I disliked the school that much. I left because I had a lot of personal things going on and I needed to be around my family. And yeah, I needed to be home around my family or closer to somebody because I feel as though if some of my family were in Florida, I would probably have been able to get through the things I was going through. But besides that, the reason I left the school, I was so set on going to that school because I started culinary arts. To this day, I still love to cook, but I did change my major to criminal justice. I do at some point in my life want to study political science, but they only had criminal justice, so that's what I studied. I do want to be a crime scene analyst, but that doesn't take away from my love for cooking. I do still love to cook. I like to bake. I like to do everything, but I feel like me learning that from somebody isn't my biggest, I guess that's not something I like to do. But I do still want to own a restaurant one day. I swear I do. I don't know what kind. I still want to get my thoughts together and maybe take a business class while I do study political science. But I haven't decided if I want to do online or physically go. But I feel like Johnson & Wales was the place for me when I wanted to cook. And I do feel like that is just a cook school. If you go majoring in anything else, I feel like you're less involved. The business program, I do feel like it's pretty good. The criminal justice program, I'm not the biggest fan of there because you don't get to be as involved. Now in TAP, the TAP leader, wow, I don't remember her name. I was in love with her. Wow. I don't remember her name, but the TAP leader, she is amazing. She can set anything up for you if you want to do something in your career or related to your career and you don't have that opportunity. Stella. Her name is Stella. If you are in TAP and you need something and you want to get more involved, talk to Stella. She is amazing. I love Stella. She can set up for criminal justice. She can set up ride-alongs, or I know we had this activity. I don't think it was just TAP though, where they brought the police dogs. And I thought that was pretty exciting. It was really interesting. We got to watch them interact with the officers, and we also got to see how they search for like drugs and stuff. I thought that was really nice. So let's start from the point when I got there. When I got to the school, I was still culinary. But when I first got there, I went early because Tap goes early because we have like pretty much just camp. We go in the woods and we were supposed to canoe, but it rained. We played a few games, we painted. I was not for the outdoors. I have a whole bunch of allergies and I can't with the bugs, but I wanted to canoe so bad, but it rained. But Tap did have fun activities. I know after the first couple of weeks there's a pool party the same way as at orientation, and I feel like that's like the best school plan party ever. It was so fun. I could probably insert clips if I still have them, but I can look and I'll post them. But I feel like when I first got there, I was fine until I changed my major because things started to change mentally, of course, and I had to change my course of plans. I also want to say that about your roommates, no offense, but I would highly advise you, if you know deep down you do not want a roommate and you're trying to not be antisocial, be antisocial, because that's exactly how I felt. And I went and had 3 roommates and I never again. I loved my roommates. I swear I did. I'm still close with Rebecca and Bree and I love them to death, but I will never ever again in my life have ever 3 roommates. Biggest issue with 3 roommates is y'all don't do anything the same. Y'all don't clean the same. Y'all don't straighten up the same. Y'all don't keep y'all stuff the same. Nothing's the same. Second, the AC heat. That was the biggest issue in our room, I feel like, besides the cleaning. Somebody need the heat on. Somebody need the AC on. The AC was too cold. The heat was too hot. Somebody turned on the AC as soon as somebody turned on the heat. Like, it was a tit for tat game with everybody in our room, and I already know because I get cold easily. So I didn't have a problem with the AC being on as long as it was like on 72, 70. A roommate liked to turn it on 68, 64. I'm not okay with that because I'd be freezing, first of all. And sometimes I would turn on the heat, and of course, because if I'm the only person in the room, heck yeah, I'm turning on the heat because I'm freezing. I turn on the heat for a little while. Other roommates would turn on the heat for forever and it would be an issue. Sometimes I did turn it on for like a long time because I forgot about it and I left the room and they'd come in hot, sweating, but oops. But I feel like that's another big issue. The whole touching each other's stuff, that's another issue, and I feel like I'm not the only person that had that issue. A lot of other people have that issue, and it seems like the issue is still being had even though I've been gone. There's been, over the course of time, a lot of my stuff disappeared. Makeup brushes, a pair of biker shorts from Pink that I was so mad about because I never got to wear them. Ew. A lot of stuff, a lot of your stuff may end up disappearing. So the 3 roommate thing is in Trop. So it's when you walk in, it's like a common area. The bathroom in our room, the bathroom was on the right. Like we'd walk in the door, the bathroom's on the right. The common area is here. One door to a room is here and one door to the room is over there. So me and one person shared the room on the left, and Bree and Rebecca shared the room on the right. And at first it was okay. I feel like a lot of people in a lot of predicaments, some people and their roommates, like the one they're actually in the room with in Trop, stay close. Some of them end up hating each other. Some of them argue one day, friends the next. Some of them end up being besties. Like some hate each other. Like it's a hit or miss, and I feel like it's gonna be hard for you to adjust, especially if you guys don't like each other. You have to realize all your stuff is in the same place, no matter what you do, no matter if you lock it or not, your stuff is there. I feel as though if you're not comfortable with people being around your stuff as is, I would highly not recommend you move in Trop. I personally feel as though I wish I would have known what I know now, and I would have moved into Biscayne and got a single. Biscayne is more expensive, but depending on the type of person you are, you may need to just make that adjustment for yourself. But the whole rooming thing, my biggest issues was the cleaning and also the fact that maintenance would just bust up in your room and stuff. I hated that. I know they have to fix stuff, but it's like one knock and they come flying in like What if I didn't have no clothes on? What if I was running to get a towel? That's why I didn't answer and you opened the door. Like, I don't know. But besides that, I can't think of any other issues regarding res life. Some of the residential assistants or whatever, they're full of it. And my RA was really nice. I liked him. But anyway, mail. You can get mail. You get your own mailbox. If it's in a box, it'll go to the mail room and you have to pick it up. Just make sure you have your ID. I never had an issue with mail too much. Well, sometimes I did where I wouldn't get it, but I don't know what the issue was with that. But I ended up having to fix things for me to get the mail. But whatever. It wasn't that serious. I was fine for the most part. But back to classes, I feel as though the long class times is really weird to me. It's kind of like block classes in high school. If you do that where you're in class for hours. We never had that in my high school, so I wasn't used to that. But I feel like your classes are pretty decent picks, but if you have a hold on your account, I would highly advise you to already take in that you're not going to get what you want class-wise, because classes go like this. Like, you better get in your class and you better not have a hold on your account or you're going to lose them, because it happens like this, literally. What else? Oh, they're the school doctor. They offer... Well, you get the school insurance when you go to the school unless you have your own. But I was on the school insurance because I got off of my insurance before school. So I got on the school insurance, which was pretty good. It covers things like, it covered my birth control. It covers a lot. Actually, a lot of the shots they make you get for school and that you have to continue to get, they cover them. And then there's a CVS right across the street that they send you to if they don't do it themselves. But it's every day except the weekends. There's no class on Fridays, so there's no doctor Fridays. But they do offer, for people who need it, they offer, oh, I didn't put highlight on. They offer like free, I think, STD screenings and stuff. Yeah, all of that every 2 weeks. Like, I think it's every other Monday, which is really good if you're deciding to be sexually active while you're at school, so you know you're safe. But I wouldn't advise you be going to Florida and be mixing in the mix. Okay. Oh, they have it. They have a school therapist. I went to her. I think there's more than one, but I spoke with Shampa. I feel like she's amazing, because when I started going through things, or if I just needed somebody to talk to, you can make an appointment with her. It could be weekly, twice a week, once every week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. She's really nice and comforting. I tried a therapist here before I left for school, and I wasn't a big fan. I was uncomfortable, but I was still trying, and it's just weird. So when I went to school and I met her, I felt like it was just perfect, because I got to speak to her about anything, and I felt free, and I felt like I wasn't judged. But most of the time I was quiet. I wouldn't say I was open the whole time, but once you get used to her and used to being there, it's so great, because she's a wonderful person to talk to, and it's really good to get all those emotions out. Towards the end, towards me leaving, they did come with this therapist group or therapy group. So it's not just you, it's a whole bunch of people, but y'all don't talk about your problems. It's just like, you talk about how therapy helps, and strategies that could help you move forward or feel better as a person or get through certain issues. And I feel like that was like one of the biggest things for me at the school, because I'm a person that did struggle with my emotions a lot when I was younger, because I'm just an emotional person. And like, I feel like once I got older, I realized I can't really express myself as well, because I always cry. I guess over time I've gotten less sensitive in that area. So if I cry, that means I'm really frustrated at this point. But being able to talk to her kind of helps me keep the tears inside instead of always crying. But I had to learn to be able to talk in order for me to get results, because if I don't talk, I don't get results. But I do appreciate having her, because it's the best thing, especially when you're so far. You have no friends or family. Like, from growing up, you don't have friends or family that you know or like click tight with you there, because you're so far from home. And stepping into her office was like, oh, finally, like every single time. They even have a waiting room, which I would go sit in sometimes, even when I didn't have an appointment, just so I could breathe and just sit there for a sec. They have coloring pages in there too. What else? Food. Okay, so when you go to orientation, I'm already telling you, the food's gonna be bomb at orientation only. Now, when you start school for the first week or so, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good. Over time, it's gonna get old. There's the burger station, pasta station, vegan station. What's in the middle? Okay, so when you first walk in the mix, but I've heard there was gonna be a new mix, so I don't know if it's gonna be the same. But when I was there, it was when you first walk in the mix, there's when you walk in on your right, there's like the desserts and the drinks. On your left, there's like more seating area, and then when you walk forward, there's a smoothie and like toasted area. They make you like pizzas or like wraps or whatever. I don't know. I ordered the pizza once, but it doesn't have tomato sauce. It's just like cheesy bread. And then they have a smoothie station. I love the smoothies. I usually just get pineapples or peaches or blueberries and peaches. It's pretty good. And then you walk forward, there's the burger and fries station. They have bean burgers, vegan burgers, and just regular beef burgers, and then fries. The next station, I don't remember what it was called or what their theme was, but they usually had a pretty decent meal type right there. And then around it, there was the pasta station. That was my favorite station, especially when they had Alfredo, because I love me some Alfredo. But across from it is the vegan station, and then they just have everything vegan. And there's also a drink station back there. And then behind the mix, there's a coffee place. That coffee was so good. I used to drink that coffee every morning before class, but that coffee, and I know somebody could vouch for me, will make you go to the bathroom, number 2, in about 20 to 30 minutes after drinking it. So beware, if you cannot hold it for just a sec, I would highly advise you not to drink it before class. Like, drink it and be walking to your room, because you're gonna need to use the bathroom. We did have a lot of events at school. I personally involved myself in as much as I could, like games wise. I'd go, but I did join the cheerleading team, which I would never do there ever again. So if you're gonna go to Johnson & Wales, Miami location, do not get on the cheer team. That sounds so bad. But don't get on the cheer team. It's not like a real cheer team, and I feel like there's no patience amongst that team. And a lot of that comes from the coach, in my opinion. I feel like she was a good person. She had good intentions, but her patience was low, and you don't talk to people that way, in my opinion. Skirt, no. Johnson & Wales is clearly not known for sports, but they have a golf team, and I hear the golf team's pretty good. I made a friend there. She played soccer. She was from the Cayman Islands. So she came and played soccer, and I went to one of the games, which was pretty interesting because I don't think I've ever been to a soccer game, but that was different. As well as the basketball teams, they were okay. As I said, they're not known for sports, but they have plenty of opportunities for you to join, like different things, different groups. There's a Christian group, like religious wise. There's a sorority, but I wasn't into that. There's a group for culinary students. There's a group for baking students. There's a group for criminal justice students. There's a lot of groups for different things, and I feel like, oh, there's a group for like LGBTQ, what was it called? I don't remember what it was called, but their group is really nice. I did go to their meetings. I went to one of the religious group meetings. They were really nice. Just the feedback, the words, I loved it. Darn, I can't think of anything else, but a lot of the things they did were pretty fun and nice. I know one time we had somebody from Wild 'N Out. He was so funny. I thought it was gonna be so whack, but it was really funny. They had bingo night one time. I love me some bingo. Me and one of my roommates, Rebecca, went to bingo, which was fun. So not about the school anymore, but around the school, there's a lot of places to eat. Like, you can grab, my favorite is Evio's. It's a pizza place. I would order I think it was probably like twice a week. I'd get a slice of pizza or an order of wings and churros, smacked, to go to sleep. It was so good. So that was one of my favorite places to go. Me and my roommate Bree and Dejana and Angel, we went to Taco Tuesdays. I don't remember what the place was called, but I know Taco Tuesdays because you'd get like tacos, and then we got like queso or salsa and a drink. It was good. It was so worth it. Those tacos are really good. There's a Red Lobster, there's a Smoothie King, there's a Wendy's, there's, I'm trying to think, I haven't been there in a minute. There's Denny's. I'm not a big fan of Denny's. And across the street there's also, it's not Marjo's, TJ Maxx and Ross. The mall is about 10 or 15 minute drive away. There's a lot of car dealerships if you want a new car. I can't think off the top of my head. Oh, there's this place, what's it called? There's this place called Finger Lickin'. It's DJ Khaled's restaurant, and it's so good. It's sort of like homey food, but I liked it a lot. I'm trying to think. But their mall is huge and it's beautiful, and there's a Morphe store for my Morphe lovers. Sis, go in that store, and it's actually pretty cheap in there. I never realized how cheap they were until I was in the store surrounded by everything, because shopping online you don't really get to see everything, but it's really nice, really cheap. And they offer a lot of different discounts. I'm not sure if they have student discount, but I know they have military discount. But a lot of the stores there do have student discount, which I found strange because they don't really do that places. But in the mall, they do have a lot of choices for student discount. But the mall is absolutely huge, and there's so much stores, like you could shop all day. Your wallet is just gonna disappear. There's no point for it because you're gonna spend all your money. I can honestly say I went to the beach once at nighttime, which I regret because I should have went to the beach a couple of times while I was there, but I only went once. It was at night, but it was pretty nice. Party wise, I feel like Louis has a lot of parties. You'll find out who he is when you go to the school, because that's all you're gonna see is his parties, like every weekend or every other weekend. They're pretty lit. Parties there all together are pretty lit. I just didn't like District 3. I think that's what the club's called. I hated it. It was like hot, sweaty, gross. Ugh, no, but parties there are pretty nice. They do have a lot of house parties. Some of them don't get shut down, but some of them do. Most of them do. Some of them don't, but I wasn't really a big party person, so I don't know. I went out sometimes, but when I did go out, I did enjoy it. They play a variety of music, and I love that. At first I didn't like it because I wasn't used to it, but they play a lot of Caribbean music, which I now love. Like, they play a whole bunch of different stuff. So I think if you're open to different music, even if you're not, just try it because it's really nice. You're not gonna go to a club and not hear Caribbean music like once at least. You're not, because they play that a lot. Speaking of that, nobody in Florida speaks English. Nobody. They speak Spanish and Creole. Some people speak English, but when you go out, you're gonna hear like Spanish and Creole. Like, I worked at Chuck E. Cheese for a while there, and Creole or Spanish. Mostly Spanish, but Creole too. Like, it's just, they don't really speak English there. So if you get a job, you better be patient ready, because you could be like, I don't know what you're saying, and they're gonna be like, it's still talking because they don't know what you're saying either. So like, patience, I would definitely recommend. Florida as a whole, the weather is hot. It was cold in January or February-ish, around that area, just for a little while. I don't remember which month it was, but it was a little cold, and I could actually wear winter clothes for like a week. But it barely ever like gets cold, and it definitely doesn't rain too often. The weather is always beautiful there. You can wear shorts every single day, probably. Even when it's cold, you can wear shorts and a sweater and call it a day. Like, it's pretty decent weather. It didn't rain too often. There's also a Publix behind the school. You can smell the chicken walking to class. Trust and believe, and you're gonna want it, and you're gonna try it. Just watch. I'm trying to think of anything good to know. I don't know. I can't think. But overall, the school wasn't for me once I changed my major. But all in all, I did appreciate the experience as a whole. I liked the experience that I did get, but I do realize that moving forward, there's a lot of things I should be looking into more so, I guess, because you never know what's going to change when you go to college. And let me say something. Changing your major is not an issue. Changing your major does not make you stupid. Changing your major is not a problem. You go to college thinking you know what you want, but once you experience a whole lot of different things, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to not be sure. But I'm not going to tell you it's okay to change your major 1,000 times. Like, let's not. I know somebody there. She told me she changed her major 12 times, and no, ma'am. But don't ever feel down because you changed your mind and you thought you were so set on something, because that's exactly what happened to me. And even though I still love to cook and I love the idea of owning a restaurant, I would never say that I was stupid for changing my mind, because at the end of the day, don't stick to something that's going to make you unhappy, or you know you're not willing to put that much energy in at that moment to study it for and spend all that money. Make sure you're spending your money on the right thing, what makes you happy. And it always matters what you want, not what everybody else wants. And you have to remember that. Do what's best for you. But do not let the college negative energy get to you. I made a whole lot of good friends and a whole lot of bad ones. So I went through a lot friends-wise there. As I said, I'm still close with 2 of my roommates, Rebecca and Bria. I love them to death. I had a good relationship with my other roommate, Talia, at a point. And over time, we just grew apart, which is fine. It is what it is. But when you meet because I met a lot of previous students of Johnson & Wales, and I made friends with them as well, and some of them were horrible, and I came out with a really good friend actually that used to go there. I spent a lot of time getting to know people off of campus, because the people on campus were very childish in my opinion, but you have to pick the right crowd. But all in all, I really think if you're going to go to the school, do your research, enjoy yourself, and do what's best for you at all times. Do not get yourself into anything that you feel isn't right. I never in a point felt unsafe going out or anything. I always had a good crowd around me, and always stick with your friends, guys or girls. Stick with your friends at all times when you're going out, because you never know what could happen. But all in all, I did appreciate the experience at the school, but I know the school was not for me, even though I was so set on going there. I was so excited. And also about going far, I would not, I hate to say this, but I would not recommend running away. Going so far, I kind of regret it. I wanted to go so far because I wanted to get away from here. I just wanted I wanted change, and change is what I got, and I liked it in the beginning, and in the end, when I really realized reality setting in, I needed to be around like my parents more and people I knew and feel at home, and after a while I started to not feel at home. So I wouldn't recommend going far for, you know, your first try. I would recommend going to I know they have this thing where you can go for like a weekend and spend the weekend there, and then you also have orientation. So I would definitely recommend you take advantage of the one before that, where you can spend like a week or a weekend there or something. They put you in a hotel and they like transport you back and forth. I know Talia went. I don't really know how it went because I don't remember what she told me, but I would recommend you getting as much involved as you can. Do tours, everything, talk on the phone. I did a lot of that. I did a lot of calling Stella and Heather. I called them like every week, email something, because I always wanted to know what was going on, but you won't really know until you set your feet on the campus. And I only had one opportunity to do that before, because I only went to orientation. But I do recommend you getting involved and always doing what's best for you. But if there isn't any question, if there are questions that I didn't answer, let me know and I can make another video, or I can talk to you personally. I did this video because a lot of people commented on my orientation one asking for an update, and I know I've been taking so long, but I promise you, here it is. And if you need anything else, just feel free to DM me or something on social media, or comment under this video as you guys did in the other one, and I'll gladly answer your questions. Thanks for watching.